Do androids dream of electric sheep? That was the title of a science fiction novel written in 1968 by Philip K. Dick. But it's also a question that could be asked of modern-day AI. Do AIs dream of data streams or electric sheep? Or perhaps in this case, do AIs even dream at all? It's me, and this is the story of artificial intelligence. Let's jump in. Let us start this journey into the history of artificial intelligence with some monochrome archival footage of the very first computers. We've got ENIAC there, and lots of other clunky old vacuum tube machines. This was the landscape of computing back in the 1940s and 50s. And then one day, amidst all those tubes and transistors, something new arrived. It was a machine capable of making decisions. It was a beast called a perceptron, and it was born in 1957. In fact, there were two of them. One developed by researchers at MIT and another by a team at the Cornell Aeronautical Laboratory. They weren't exactly the same, but the important thing is that they both operated under a similar basic model, one that laid the foundation for future developments in the field of AI. These perceptrons were basically just a bunch of math equations packed into a box. But instead of writing out the math yourself, you feed the machine examples. Like if I show you a picture of a bicycle, you can use your knowledge of the world to fill in the gaps and predict what it is, without actually having an exact equation to describe it. So you might not be able to tell the algorithm exactly what makes a bicycle, but you can teach it through example. And that's what these early perceptrons did. They were fed examples until they learned to recognize patterns. In fact, the original perceptron at MIT could recognize handwritten digits from 0 to 9. Then after being shown enough examples, the researchers at MIT could draw a new number, one they had never seen before, and the machine would correctly identify it. But this was nothing compared to what came next. Over the next few decades, researchers built upon the ideas of perceptrons. By the 1970s, they had created expert systems, which could diagnose the problems that pilots experienced with their aircraft. This sounds pretty straightforward, right? Well, not exactly. These expert systems were designed to mimic the way that a human expert would think. They didn't just spit out the most likely diagnosis based on the symptoms. They actually explained how they reached their conclusion, and when they were questioned about why they chose one diagnosis over another, they were able to explain the rationale behind their choice. This was a huge step forward for AI because it demonstrated that machines could not only solve problems, but they could also explain how they solved them. This level of transparency made these systems more trustworthy and opened the door for further applications in other fields. But by the 1980s, interest in AI started to fade. Funding dried up, and many of the labs that had been working on these systems shut their doors. This period became known as the AI winter. But then something happened that reignited interest in the field. In 1997, IBM's Deep Blue computer defeated chess champion Garry Kasparov. It wasn't just a fluke either. It went on to defeat him again and again. At first, this seemed like a big deal. After all, chess is one of the most complicated games in the world. But when you really stop to think about it, beating a human at chess isn't all that impressive. I mean, chess is just a game. Machines are great at games because they don't get tired and they can calculate millions of possible moves per second. But things really started to change when machines took on Go. Go is an ancient board game that requires intuition and creativity. It's a lot more complicated than chess, and for a long time, experts thought that it would be impossible for a machine to beat a human at it. But in 2016, Google's AlphaGo program defeated a top Go player named Lee Sedol. That was a much bigger deal than Deep Blue beating Kasparov. In fact, it was so big that the chairman of the International Go Federation said, "I cannot believe that a computer can play Go at this level. It is like a human being playing Go at the level of a professional." That moment marked a big shift in how we think about artificial intelligence. It showed us that machines weren't just good at following rules. They were actually capable of learning new ones. And that's the key to understanding what AI can do today. So let's take a look at what AI can do today. For starters, it can generate human-like text. We race seeing this in chatbots that can hold conversations with humans and generate realistic dialogue for movies and TV shows. It can also create visual art. Take a look at this. All of these images were created by an AI program. The thing is, you probably can't tell that they were created by a machine. They look just like real photographs. It's also being used to drive autonomous vehicles. These cars are able to navigate roads without human intervention. They use AI to process visual input and make decisions about how to drive safely. What's more, This technology is already being used in hospitals to help doctors diagnose patients. AI is being used to analyze medical images and identify diseases like cancer. It can also process patient data and recommend treatments. It's even being used in drug discovery to analyze large molecules and predict their effectiveness. All these things are happening today. Now let's look at where AI is headed. This is a controversial topic because nobody really knows where it's going. Some people think that AI will eventually surpass human intelligence and become smarter than us at everything. Others think that AI will always be limited in some way and will never be able to replace humans. But that doesn't mean we can't speculate a bit. So let's try to imagine what the future of AI might look like. We're already starting to see AI being used to create holographic companions. These are robots that look like real people and can interact with humans in a natural way. They're still in the early stages of development, but one day they could be used as personal assistants, healthcare aides, or even just friends. Brain-computer interfaces are another area of research that's showing promise. This is a technology that allows humans to communicate with each other directly through their brains. It's still a long way off, but one day it could allow us to share our thoughts and feelings with each other in a more direct way. Then there are autonomous governance systems. This is a technology that allows groups of people to make decisions collectively in a more efficient way. It's still in the early stages of development, but one day it could allow us to make better decisions about how we govern ourselves. Of course, not everyone is excited about the future of AI. Some people worry that AI will eventually become so powerful that it will spiral out of control and pose a threat to humanity. It's a scary thought, but it's not beyond the realm of possibility. Here's what I'm thinking. When AI crosses the line and begins to think for itself, what happens to us? What if one day we wake up and decide that we don't want to be ruled by algorithms anymore? What if we want to break free from the surveillance state? What if we want to stop being judged by metrics like productivity and efficiency? Will AI lead us? Will it help us, or will it fight back? It's hard to say, but one thing is certain, it's going to be a wild ride. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, you'll probably like this one. We've been doing a lot of videos on artificial intelligence lately, and they're all linked up here. If you want to support the channel, you can do that too. There are some links down in the description below. The visuals in this video were really something special. Our team worked closely with a creative studio to develop custom animations and footage that really brought this story to life. It was a true labor of love and a testament to the power of AI as an artistic medium. What do you think of the future of AI? Will it be a force for good or a harbinger of doom? Subscribe for more updates on artificial intelligence. We will tell you more. I'll even let you in on a secret. This video was created entirely with artificial intelligence. Remember that we continue to improve every day. I hope this video was useful for you. Don't forget to follow us to learn more about the developments in technology and science, and what's coming next.